All right, I think we're live. Welcome everyone to the aftermarket edition of Trading Bitcoin with your host Tone Vays. What a crazy day we had today, and we're gonna go and take a full look at that day. I'm not sure why I'm not in focus. I was supposed to look into alternatives to Zoom because Zoom honestly kind of sucks. I think it used to be better. It's just starting to be worse. And I'm hoping there's better alternatives out there, but I haven't gotten to them yet. Um, Let me pull out your live chat, and I should be able to get to some of your questions today. I don't usually do questions in the morning, but we do questions in the evening, so after market. And let me close that, and we are pretty much good to go. Welcome, everyone. Where's my live chat? There it is. Already at 200 viewers. I'm starting a few minutes early for you. Yeah, we're gonna go through the stock watch list that I have. I'm kind of curious myself as to what is going on. I already got a question. Someone is asking, how did your hedged portfolio do today? It actually did really. I don't want to say it did really well. It did really well, considering I wanted the market to drop. Why am I out of focus? My personal portfolio did really well, considering I really wanted the market to drop 100 points, not rise 100 points. I would have done significantly better had it fallen 100 points because I was positioned for the downside of the market. But I had enough call options that were out of the money that saved my bearish skewed portfolio. Let's just say if the market would have went up 30 points, 30 to 40 points instead of 120 today, my portfolio would have been in a bit of trouble. I was really looking forward to a 100-point drop, but 125 point rise. Those calls that I thought were going to be kind of worthless turned out to be the savior of my portfolio, which is why you really want to keep a hedged portfolio. You want to have some hedges. In my personal situation, my hedges turned out to be the play. You're not supposed to do it that way, and it shouldn't happen that way. But when it happens, it kind of saves your ass. So I feel sorry for those that were fully short in the market without any hedge on there. But a properly well-maintained hedge could, protect you in a disastrous situation against you. Okay, so throw in your questions. I think I had questions from the other day that I never fully got to. We're gonna get to all of them, but it is 7:45 p.m. Eastern time. This is when I was supposed to start the show, so we're gonna go ahead and kick it off with the charts. And I was looking for ETFs. I'm toying with a few different options here. One of them is to start publicly managing my retirement portfolio, like actual literal retirement portfolio with ETFs just to educate people, and I would stream that live. Haven't really decided if I am or not going to do it and when I'm going to do it. So I have a tipped question. Let me take a look at that question, and then we're going to jump right into Bitcoin. Hey, Tone, could you take a look at MRO weekly and daily? I've never heard of MRO, so let's go and take a look at MRO. Maybe I've heard of it, but I don't know. I don't recognize the ticker. We're going to go through my entire, it's an oil company. Okay. Oil is in a weird place right now. Ooh, this oil company has not moved at all. It has fallen. Let's go to the weekly chart first. We had a 9 on the weekly. I like this bottoming pattern. I'm not familiar with the company, Marathon Oil. Not familiar with it. I hope it's a US company. It was struggling going back to 2018, which means that the coronavirus and the drop in oil prices is not the leading cause of this company's demise, which is making me hesitant. Considering this was, I have to go back further. I need to go back and see. Interesting. Interesting. I kind of like this. I don't love it, but I kind of like it. It's on a weekly 9. It hasn't moved up at all. It certainly got beaten up. It is down 87% from 2018. And it's down 78% since the start of the year. You know, I'm a little hesitant considering how much it's been falling and for how long. It is a buyout target, but that's not really a trading plan. I like the bullish volume here and here. I do like that. See, look at the big volume spike right here. And look what happened next. And the price was at $6. That was on weekly 9 as well. And going to the daily chart. Nice bullish volume day here. See, these are bearish volume spikes. A bunch of 13s. I do like it. I do like it. It's probably something to keep an eye on. MRO. All right, MRO. Nice cheap stock. It can certainly close the gap. Man, I feel like a penny stock trader with all these cheap stocks. But this is when you bottom pick, you know, when the market is crashed. But this stock hasn't gone up at all. I mean, it's like I said, it's not great, but I can definitely see kind of like hidden opportunities where I like that volume spike. And you guys know that I hate volume. I don't pay attention to volume. But when I see opportunities due to volume, there's nothing wrong with that. Come on, move. I'm trying to get this next to the other oil. I have too many stocks on my watch list. It's impossible to keep an eye on all of them. Okay, now let's go to Bitcoin. This is the Bitcoin hyperwave. Nope, it's not. This is the Bitcoin hyperwave. And I pointed out in a recent video, but it needs to be said again. In this bottom here at 3,100 and this very instant secondary bottom at 3,300, I had two serious problems with these two bottoms. One of them was the fact that we did not have a huge wick or shadow on the bottom end of the candle. That was one of my problems with it. Because if you go back, and this is a linear chart, but it's not a low log chart, so it's hard to see. This is typically how markets bottom. The other problem that I had with it, even though this was a secondary higher low, it took place way too close in time to the primary low, like way too close. If this low had taken place, say, in August, or even in, say, May, I would have been a lot more optimistic at that point. This secondary low was fairly close to this primary low. And technically, it is a clean higher low. And it took place over a year later, like a year and a half later. This is December, and this is March. So we're talking, a good year and 4 months. Okay. So that is enough for me to call the low. Now, like I've been saying, the road to new all-time highs is not going to be easy because technically speaking, we have 1, 2, 3, and 4 lower significant highs. It's debatable if this is lower than that. Certainly could be a double top, could be considered lower based on daily candles. It certainly was lower. However, I don't believe this low is going to be broken. I do believe that this green line is going to be touched maybe once, maybe twice, maybe half a dozen times before we eventually break the red line. I believe the red line will also serve as a rejection at least one more time. Right now we're on a 6. I don't believe we're going to get to this line on this swing. I believe we're going to reverse somewhere before the red line. We're going to hit the green line one more time, and then we're going to go and swing up into 9. Though anything's possible. But I think that we're going to be going into 2021 without a single close above 10,000. On a weekly, probably not even on a daily. On the flip side, I don't believe there's going to be any weeks that we close below 6 or 5,000. I mean, we can pick 5,000 for a round number. I know in my tweet I say 6,000. I probably should have said 5,000 to be a little more conservative. So I think we're not going to close below 5,000 ever again. I know it's hard to say the words ever again, but I don't think we will. Going to close below 5,000, and I don't think we're going to close above 10,000 this year. Okay, I could certainly be wrong, but for now, that's how I'm looking at it. Okay, let's zoom in. Monthly chart. The candle hasn't flipped yet. We're definitely higher now, so let's skip that. Weekly chart. Hey guys, I think I deleted. I wanted to tweet out this chart. Oh, I didn't delete them here. I deleted them on the daily. Here are my annotations. This yellow line that I purposely drew saying this is unlikely to happen, but if it does, I would be very, very interested in buying here. I don't think this is going to happen. Very unlikely. Bitcoin has officially broken out in my book, and we are now above. Why? Where am I? How far do these Fibonacci's go? Do they go on forever? Well, where are my values? Why aren't the extend lines? Oh, I don't want to extend line. Well, I got to extend them somewhere, right? So what if I do this? Oh, then they're stuck there. Okay, I do want to extend them, but I want to see what the values are. Well, why aren't they displaying values? Maybe it's a bug. I don't know. Anyway, so I don't know what prices these things are. I mean, I kind of know. I can see where they're crossing. But still, like, I should have my values there. Anyway, they should be on the right side. Anyway, whatever. I need to restart. I have too many lines. I need to delete some. I'm going to delete this one at least. I'm going to delete this. I don't think it's useful. I'm going to delete that. I don't think that's useful. Cleaner. Okay. This was the long trade. This was the short trade. Notice how the short trade's still intact. This was also a short trade. Exited on 9. And with profit. Now we're price flipping to a green 1. That's important. So next week, a green 2 above a green 1 creates a long trade, but I know we're so far off the lows, which is why I've been screaming buy the dips since this day. Go back to my Twitter. Okay, daily chart. Daily chart is the really, really important one. Right here in 2 days from now, make it in 48 hours from now. Actually, in 26 hours from now, we're going to have a daily 9. We're probably going to have a daily 9. That's also going to be really important. This was a big breakout candle. I have now redrawn the breakout because the breakout has already happened. Now what we need is a pullback to 68.50 and then a higher breakout. That is what I'm looking for. I believe that 50-period moving average is going to reject Bitcoin. We're not out of the woods yet. If you zoom, I deleted all these arrows, by the way, guys. I got tired of them and I wanted to tweet out a cleaner chart. If you look at it on a longer term scale, this declining 200-day moving average is significant. And I'm actually happy that the halving is coming soon. And there is going to be less selling pressure on Bitcoin. And I really like the current environment. I really like the current environment where everyone is like scared of Bitcoin. The moment, every time I tweet out my bullishness on Bitcoin, I get all these people that are screaming how it's going to crash and how the economy is going to die. Meanwhile, the stock market just had a crazy day, which we're going to get to in a minute. So I am bullish on Bitcoin here. I am looking for a perfected 9, which means one of the next 2 candles needs to give us a new high, which is going to happen. I'm pretty certain of that. Look, we are literally at a new high right now, and in 3 minutes, we're going to have a new daily candle. So the probability that we're not going to get a perfected 9 here is like close to 0, okay? I mean, it's possible we can crash back under 6,800, but I don't see that happening either, okay? Lower level time frames, 12-hour, probably not interesting, so I'm just going to skip it. Yeah, it's not that interesting, but it is giving you a brand new entry with sequential for a bullish trade. So the 12-hour is lined up, and will the 12-hour make it to a 9 around the same time as we're getting a 9 on a daily, right? So we have 4 more candles. So this candle only has a minute to go. So we're about to have a green 4. So 4, 5, 6, 7. So we'll be on a 7 as the 9 daily is completing, which means we have 1 day following the 9 to line up a 12-hour 9 sell with a daily 9 sell. Now, what about the 4-hour? Well, we're going to look at the 4-hour next. What about the 1-hour? The 1-hour has just completed all of its countdown phases from the 9 back here. And there is another set of countdown phases from the 9 over here. And then there is another set of countdown phases from the 9 over here. So there's a lots of 13s to go, but so I don't really care about them too much. The 1-hour chart is not interesting because it's just going up and up and up and up. So let's go to the 4-hour. By the way, the triangle has fully met its target, and Bitcoin is still pumping. We have completed all of the 13s from which 9? Which 9 just completed the 13s? This 9. This 9 has just completed all of the 13s. No, scratch that. This 9 has just completed all of the 13s, not the other one. We still have countdowns from this 9. Now, the 4-hour chart, boom, next candle. The 4-hour chart should top sometime today, but we'll see if the daily drags us a little bit higher. So I'm still fully bullish. Well, we're going to go back to this chart in a minute. Hey, Leah, thank you for joining. We're at 930 viewers, guys. Hey, Fibo. Yeah, I'll take a look at shop. I'm not sure what shop is, but I'll take a look at shop. All right. Let's go through the rest of my charts. Oh, this is I mean, obviously, if I'm bullish Bitcoin, I think these gaps are going to close in the CME future. This is the big one. That was the big breakaway gap. I don't think it may or may not close this round, but it's certainly all the gaps on top will close. The question is, will the gaps at the bottom close? And are there gaps at the bottom? So there are no gaps. There's one gap. That's a gap. That's a CME gap. I can see that gap closing. It's above 6,000. I can see this gap closing on CME futures. That's the only gap we have. It's the only gap right here. GBTC premium. I haven't been looking at this. I mean, I have my GBTC position. The premium's above 10. Makes me not very interested. But I'm already in. I'm already in Bitcoin. I'm waiting for the pullback. I'll buy the dip. I'm gonna buy the dips. Bitcoin dominance. I'm still on record for saying 80 by end of year. I got about 6 months to go. Oh, look at that. This is hash rate, and hash rate is pretty much at a new all-time high. There goes all the scares. I talked about this morning. I no longer think we're going to hit this line. I'm very bullish, guys. Very bullish. Shitcoins since 2019. Let's see who is still outperforming Bitcoin. We still have the Binance scam security token and the fork of a fork, Bitcoin SV, outperforming Bitcoin since 2019. Shows you how dumb people are. It's incredible. Gold. Gold's the interesting one. Gold's the really interesting one. To me, this is a head and shoulders inverse, and it broke out. This is why I tweeted out my chart this morning. Did you guys see my Twitter? I hope you guys see my Twitter. I tweeted out the chart this morning, and I'm expecting a challenge of new all-time highs. I think that people are FOMOing into gold. I'm not exactly sure why, but it doesn't matter. As a trader, I am very bullish gold here. I've been calling gold basically schizophrenic over the weekly chart the last few weeks, but this breakout tells me that gold has found a direction, and that direction is to the upside. Now, the weekly sequential is still only on a green one, so it's not clean, but the daily chart is pretty clean now with a breakout, because remember, chart patterns trump sequential. And sequential, if that's a 4, that was a green 2 above a green 1, that's a 3 above a 2, and that's a 4 above a 3. So sequential is a go for at least 5 more days to the upside, looking for that elusive 9. Silver will probably follow gold, but as you can see, silver is not rising as quickly. I am long silver. I'm no longer profiting from my long trade because I sold calls against it, but I'm not exiting my trade either. I mean, there's no reason to. I can just wait for the option to expire and get rid of it then. Oil. Oil is a real challenge for me at the moment. We are on a red 5. Oil is moving based on people's statements, not their actions. So I will just wait and see. I still think that there is a chance oil will make a new low. And if it does, I am certainly a buyer there. Hey guys, I do have people helping me with questions. Can you throw that question from Brian Kelly? Not the I don't think it's the Brian Kelly from television, but the BKRF whatever that is. Oh boy, it's still rising. This is the S&P 500 futures. So this was me this morning watching the futures. I was watching the reversals at the nines. Now, here's the thing. When we did not reverse at 10 a.m., I expected us to go into 11 a.m. and then reverse, but we reversed at 10:30, which meant the 11 a.m. had a high probability of reversing, but now from a downside to the upside, which it did. Watching this chart all day allowed me to be confident in my calls, so I did not exit anything today. I held on to all my calls, and now I am skewed bullish into tomorrow. We're going to talk about why that is. I am skewed bullish with my portfolio into tomorrow. If tomorrow we tank down to here, my portfolio gets into trouble. Because remember, it was skewed bearish going into today, but I wanted us down here to make some real money. That didn't happen. Thank God I had enough calls to save my ass. But everything falls apart if we fall back down. So we'll see what happens. I mean, I don't control the market. People can joke around. If Tone says something about Bitcoin, it does the opposite because someone can move the market. I'm pretty sure no one that listens to Tone can move the S&P 500. So I can say whatever I want about the S&P 500. And I'm still skewed long at the moment, and I'm not looking for an insane action forever. We're going to talk about that in a minute as well. So this morning, it was very interesting how we pulled back right into the top of this channel, of this accumulation that took place overnight. We then broke this line with a vengeance. I really thought that it had a chance to come back to this line. I was actually happy that it didn't. I was a little nervous at 2 p.m., at exactly 2 p.m. off this doji candle, but I was watching sequential and I'm like, well, I shouldn't panic here. And I was getting very nervous over here because I didn't want the market to sell off into market close. Got lucky at the end of the day, and so far getting lucky overnight. I don't think this insanity is going to last. Yeah, I want to look at the dollar index as well. Thank you, Joe. If you're bullish on gold, is GLD the best to buy? Yeah, probably. GLD is your best option for gold. I mean, I'm an SLV, which is the equivalent in silver, because I just caught that 9 on silver. The reason I'm in silver is because I caught this 9 perfectly. I caught this 9 on the day of the 9. I usually miss them because I'm not paying attention, but I was paying attention to this 9 and I caught this 9. But I missed the same 9 in GLD. So it took place like a few days later, but I wasn't watching. So here is why I am bullish on the stock market. Look, I was bearish going in. I really thought we would be right here today. I thought all hell was going to break loose. And the opposite happened, which happens often. And we are now above the 38% Fibonacci. And the 38% Fibonacci to me is very important, especially after it's already been a rejection and then we break it. This tells me that there is a clean path. See, there's no resistance. I don't see any resistance between this and the next Fibonacci line, which is the 50% line. And I'm not even a fan of the 50% line. So there's a high probability we are going to go above the 50% line, and we might even get to the next moving average, which is the 50-period moving average, which is important. It's the 50-day moving average, and we could get to it in short order, to be honest with you, the way the market's been moving. Here is the other really interesting part, and I tweeted this out. Where is my chart? Why is this 2013? Okay. So I tweeted this out earlier today. This is the comparison of the Dow Jones. We're comparing apples to apples. Well, sort of. We're comparing a bushel of apples to an apple. So they're both Dow Jones. This is Dow Jones in 1929. This is Dow Jones today. The big difference is this is a weekly chart, and that's a daily chart. And I don't mind. I would never do this in the opposite direction. I would never compare today's weekly chart to something in the past on a daily scale. But I don't mind doing it in the opposite direction. And the reason is, I think that in today's world, information travels faster everywhere. Execution happens faster. So what might have taken 3 weeks for investors to figure out occurred in 3 days because of the internet, because of bot trading, because of lots of factors. More experience, more traders, more liquidity across the board everywhere. Okay, so here's what I found really interesting. Back then, the fall was similar. We fell, how much did we fall, percentage-wise? We fell in a similar fashion. We fell 50% there, and we fell, I believe, about 35, 39. 38 and a half. So let's say 39. Let's say 40. I'm going to round. 40 versus 50. That is almost identical. That's pretty damn close. Okay. Now, I love the similarities here. We fell. We bounced. Remember, these are weekly candles and these are daily candles. So while this only looks like a 1 candle bounce, in reality, this was, a good 7-8 days. And this was only 3 days. So to me, this is very, very similar. Over here, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 days down. But the first half of that was barely budging. Here, we fell very quickly. That's because, again, these are weekly charts. All right. You turn this into weekly charts and it falls pretty damn quickly as well. Initial bounce down, we reverse on a 9 back in 1929 before Tom DeMark was born. That's for damn sure. And Larry Williams, who created it. The 9 didn't perfectly time the low, but we had a couple of 13s and we have a very nice reversal candle similar to this one. Then we rally and get rejected by the Fibonacci. Pull back down, go back up, and then we break that Fibonacci. And here it is. Here we are breaking that Fibonacci. So what I said was, hey, and I tweeted this out like halfway up that candle. And I said, hey, is this candle similar to this candle? And if it is, what does that tell us? That tells us that we are going to go up and get to the next Fibonacci line. Now, I'm not a big fan of the 50% Fibonacci line. I am a bigger fan of this Fibonacci line, the 62%. And that's also a big close of some gaps in order to get there. So at this point, because we broke this Fibonacci line, all we need is a sustained candle above the Fibonacci line tomorrow. And we will probably go to that line. It's still not easy. It's still a tough one because that's a big move. And I still think the market is going to reverse and make a significant low. But now we have established a very clean higher swing low. And if we rally all the way to the 62% Fibonacci line, I will no longer be anticipating the break of this low. I would buy into the fact, or I would buy into the idea that the rebound is upon us. Now, that is not what happened in 1929. Obviously, in 1929, we went significantly lower from there, okay? And I love how every bounce in the 1929 crash on a weekly, not every bounce, almost every bounce on a weekly, I mean, that's a 9 sell, but check out this 9 buy. Remember, these are weekly candles. 9 buy, 1 to 4 candle correction into the countdown phase. Where does the countdown phase end? Here. This was the sequential end to the countdown, created a nice bounce. This 9 slowed down the drop. This is the combo 13 from that original 9 and an aggressive from the second 9. And then right here, 2 candles later, we had the second combo and the second sequential. So this is where all of them end. This is where all momentum from these 9s end. We go up. That's not, I mean, again, these are weekly candles. This is 1931 now. This is not a bad bounce. It's a reasonable bounce. That is a 40% move in the stock market. 40%. Nothing to sneeze at. A 40% rebound is nothing to sneeze at. Okay. Let's delete that. And it couldn't be sustained. We went back down, had a 9 and a double 9. This is where the market finally bottomed. That double 9. This 9 could have gotten you into a little bit of trouble if you went long. But going long here, you know, after like a 90% correction, there wasn't that much more to lose. So if you went long there, I mean, again, 25% down in the stock market is nothing to sneeze at either. But there was a double 9, and this double 9 is gorgeous. Well, not gorgeous at the time, but in hindsight, it was certainly gorgeous. Went right into a 9 sell, and that's where the market started to recover. Man, I love looking at sequential back in the old history. It's absolutely awesome. Now, unfortunately, we did not get a 9 at the high. We came close, but we didn't get it. Came close to a 9. This candle broke it. This candle really broke the momentum of that 9. Okay, that's history. I think this is my hyperwave on the NASDAQ. NASDAQ is performing very well. Notice how the NASDAQ has not gone lower than the 2018 lows. This is also the NASDAQ, and this is my stock portfolio. So let's go back to the Dow Jones, or actually let's go back to the S&P, and I'm going to zoom out on a weekly scale. I want to see if the S&P broke the 2018 lows, and you can see how S&P is way below the 2018 lows, but the NASDAQ is not. That means that not all markets are in line, let's say, right? The NASDAQ is showing you that the tech sector is still strong. And that makes me more optimistic into the near future. All right, I have a lot of questions. Let me go through your questions, and then I'm going to go through my all the stocks on this list real quick. I'm curious what they look like. I have to go to some questions from a few days ago that I think I never fully answered. All right, let me see. Okay, no, I've done all of those. Okay. I looked at MRO already. Netflix and Amazon, I'm going to take a look at. 9:13, 9 on the 1 hour. Okay, I took a look at the 1 hour already. Shop. Let's look at shop. What is shop? Shopify. Makes sense. Ooh. I don't know. I have no opinion on Shopify. Look, everything was hitting nines right here, like the world aligned. And right now, sitting here on a red 5 sequential, I can throw moving averages on here. I don't know if they'll help. The 200 days helping. Oh, why didn't this work? There it is. Weekly, just price flipped. Shopify is in the middle of nowhere, guys. I'm sorry. It's still a $300 stock. It may or may not be overpriced. I have no opinion on Shopify. I am neither bullish nor bearish. Other questions? ISRG, what is this? Intuitive Surgical. See, this is better than Shopify because first of all, it's on a green one and it's challenging the prior highs. Granted, you can say, well, Shopify is cheaper. It can challenge those as well, but I don't know. It still has a lot of overhead resistance. Look, I'm a little concerned that the market is going to pull back one more time. It can run away with it to the upside, but I'm still skeptical. I don't want to enter longs. I didn't enter any new longs today, guys. I thank God I had some calls that I was riding all day, and I'll ride those calls the rest of the week. I don't think the market is going to go up all week. I think it's going to pull back. A day like today may have momentum for another day, may have momentum for 2 days, but I am looking for a pullback. I am not going to be a buyer on anything. I don't think there will be a single asset that I am interested in buying right now. I am either going to be looking to short if it goes, higher, or I'm going to wait to buy the dip, or I'll wait for the market volatility to go away. I would, at this point, I don't want to chase any asset. So looking at the S&P 500, I don't want to chase anything to the upside. If you were not in going into today to the upside, I don't want to chase. I would rather short here or there. I would rather take the chance on a short here, buy some puts, and then hopefully time the dip better than I did this dip, because over here, I did not expect this to be the swing low. But this is why you have to learn how to keep a hedged portfolio, just in case shit doesn't work out. So I kind of like it, but I wouldn't go long. Like I said, I don't think there'll be a single stock that I would be interested in going long in. I answered the GLD question. We'll take a look at the dollar after. Best way to trade oil, probably USO. It's not great, but it's the best we got. Probably USO. But everything I just said about stocks applies to oil. I don't want to go long oil here because I don't know what the hell this was. I can't trust it. I can't trust it. Either I missed my oil long for a long time, or I'm going to wait for a pullback. Now, that pullback doesn't have to be to new lows. That pullback could be down to, say, 450 on USO. Considering when under $4, that was probably the perfect buying opportunity, right at $4. Again, I missed it. I'm stupid. I was waiting for the 9. I got too cute with it. So now I'm waiting. I'm in no man's land on oil. BKRIF. Bank of Ireland. That's interesting. What the hell happened here? Look at the volume, and that amounted to jack shit. And now you're back at the lows. How illiquid is this thing? Oh, was this like the nationalization of a failing bank? What the hell happened here? Oh, it's a split. It's a reverse split. Oh, this is a disaster. Yeah, you ain't getting your money back. It's going to go down to 50 cents, and then it's going to reverse split again, so you can go down to 50 cents. Whatever you screwed. You're screwed. Going back to the 2003. Oh, good God. Well, there's your reverse split. When a stock reverse splits, it's really, really bad because that just gives people a better opportunity to short the damn thing. And well, short is not going to bring it down, but at least you can make your money back by shorting. No, this is in serious trouble. I would never buy this thing. I would never go long this. Horrible, horrible. It's a pump and dump right here. Classic pump and dump. Next. All right, let's see. If I move the fibs down, Fiboswani, you're the Fibonacci expert. So what you're saying is move this fib to the high on the 9. I'm assuming you mean, oops. I'm assuming you mean this high off the 9, because I find it difficult to believe that it's this high on the 9, though it's possible. So if it's that high on the 9, we're right at 62%, which means I'm still bullish. And if I move it here, we're right at 50%, which means I'm still bullish into the next one. So no matter how you slice it, I am pretty bullish. But if I do it there, I need to do it here. So we can either move it to there, which means we perfectly went through this Fibonacci. So I like this idea. I kind of like it. So in this case, we will be really in line. This candle has fully, like the prior candle closes at Fibonacci for the second time. The next candle breaks out, which is this candle. And now we are on our path to top out at the 62% Fibonacci line, which is the potential here. So I can leave these Fibonacci's there and keep an eye on that. I still personally prefer to go from the ultimate high than from the secondary high, but either way, things are lining up nicely. Okay, other questions? You say you expect Bitcoin to spend the year trading between 6,000 and 10,000. What % chance do you give Bitcoin going on a tear above 10,000 in 2020? I would say going on a tear, I would give that somewhere around 15%. What chances would I give that Bitcoin will be above 10,000 and I lose my bet? Remember, I have a bet with a friend of mine that Bitcoin will not close more than 90 days this year at end of day above 10,000. I'd say a 25% chance I lose the bet. I'm 75% confident in my bet. So 75% chance we're going to spend a quarter of the year above 10,000 and 15% chance we're going to go on a tear. Because if we do start trading above 10,000, there's a high probability we're going on a tear. That's why they're kind of close to each other. All right, let's go through the stocks. Oh, let's go through the currencies first. Let's go to FX because I want to take a look at DXY. DXY looks strong, looks very strong. I think we're going to challenge the highs. We'll hit another 9. This is the daily scale. We'll hit another 9. Look, we're only on a 4 weekly. We're on a 3 monthly. We'll hit a 9. We'll pull back. We're breaking this. I'm going to the monthly scale. I want to see the likelihood of us going to a new all-time high in the dollar. All-time high in the dollar is 120. And I think we're going to challenge that. And sooner than later. I think we're going to challenge it sooner than later. I'm a huge bull on the US dollar, guys. I don't consider that other one. To me, this is the all-time high because the euro has already existed. Virgin Galactic and IIPR. Yeah, I can look at that. Virgin Galactic is space. I knew that, but I don't know why I wasn't sure. Monthly is not very useful. I think this stock will struggle a little bit. I think it's too speculative in a world where people are scared for their jobs. So I am not very bullish on Virgin Galactic. I will wait and see if it can go back to, say, $8. And the other one was IIPR. No comment. It's in the middle of nowhere. I don't like these stocks in the middle of nowhere. They either need to go below this low to be bearish or above this high to be bullish. Notice the S&P 500. Notice how I am bullish the S&P 500 because it went above this swing high. Now look at this stock. It's nowhere close. It's down near the low. So what do you think happens to this stock in a couple of days if the S&P goes up, gets rejected, and goes back down? So that's why I'm not really interested. I'm going to go through the currencies. I'm going to try to do this somewhat quickly because we have a lot of currencies. I'm not sure if I should be looking at weekly or daily. The Australian dollar looks kind of bullish, to be honest with you. See, it's breaking this high. So the Australian dollar is kind of bullish here. Oh, I'm sorry. It's the Australian dollar versus the Japanese yen. I thought this right scale was weird. So the Australian dollar is strengthening against the Japanese yen. And it looks good for more upside. The Australian dollar versus the US dollar. So This is in no man's land. If it goes below this low, then the Australian dollar is in trouble. If it goes above this high, then the Australian dollar is strengthening against the US dollar. So you're stuck between these 2 points. The euro against the Swiss franc. So it's euro in Swiss francs. It's not good, not looking good for the euro. Euro in British pounds. It is not looking good for the euro either. You hit a 9 on a daily, you're on a little bit of a rebound, and then you're in trouble. So this means I am bullish the British pound against the euro. You know what? I don't care about these side ones. Let's go straight to the euro USD. So this is the euro USD pair. I believe that you are going to go below this low. Look at this. Wow. 1, 2, 3, plus the 9 itself. Perfect 1 to 4 candle correction off the 9. I wonder where on a Fibonacci line that ended. Almost made it to the 62%. And down we go. And I think that we are going to go past these lows. British pound against the US dollar. So this is the dollar and pounds. I think the British economy will do okay. So therefore, I think the US dollar will still outperform the pound, but I wouldn't exactly short the pound against the dollar either. I'd rather short the euro against the dollar. New Zealand is the same as Australia. At the moment, it's in no man's land. I don't even know what this is. South Sudan pound against the Brazilian real. Why the hell do I have this exchange rate? How do I delete this? How do I get rid of it? I don't know how to remove it. I guess maybe I can just hit the delete button. There you go. Why do I have these currencies? Oh, this was USD against Angola. Oh, I know why. I was doing research. I was looking for hyperinflations. That's why they're all there. US dollar against Brazil. This looks horrendous for Brazil. This looks absolutely terrible. Get your money out of the Brazil, whatever, real, whatever you're using. This looks horrible. Canada, tops on a 9, not great. It'll probably, your currency will probably continue to devalue against the dollar. Congo, again, I was looking for hyperinflations. I have to delete these. They're just taking up space. My research is over. It was for a slide in my presentation. What is this? Argentine peso. It's not looking good for Argentina. It's looking bad. Where is that? I don't even know where that is on my thing. Swiss franc. US versus the franc. I think the US will outperform the franc, but the franc will be okay. Remember, Switzerland did not shut down their economy, unlike the US and the rest of Europe. So the Swiss franc could be, you know, could be performing okay. I don't think it'll devalue. Danish krone, I think it's going to go to a new high. You guys are in trouble. Egypt. Egypt's doing pretty good. I don't know how or why. I've been to Egypt. I can't explain this. My biggest mystery in life right now. How in the world the Egyptian currency is appreciating against the US dollar? I would have lost that bet if anybody would have asked me to put a bet on it 5 minutes ago. Rupiah, Indonesia, not good, not good. Hopefully, the Bali conference, which takes place in Indonesia, becomes a lot cheaper for everyone. But the hotel we stay in charges prices in dollars, so it doesn't matter. No local stay there, it's too expensive. India. Not looking good. Not looking good. They're all going to not look good because I think the dollar is going up. Iran, we're deleting this again. Hyperinflation research. Japanese yen. I don't know why people are obsessed with the dollar Japanese yen exchange rate. I don't think it has gone anywhere. I don't think it's ever going anywhere. It is what it is. It'll fluctuate between 100 and 1,000 Japanese yen per US dollar. Again, research. Peso. Not good. I don't need to even wait for sequential. That looks terrible. Norwegian krone, whatever you guys are doing seems to be saving you for a minute, but it won't last. The Russian ruble is probably doing bad, and it is. It is pulling back a little bit, but that probably won't last, and it will probably keep devaluing against the US dollar. Sudan, goodbye. Swedish is the same thing as the other Norwegian ones. Or Scandinavian ones, I should say. Singapore, you're hanging in there, but US dollar is outperforming you clearly. Jesus Christ. Gone. Thailand. Not looking good for the baht. Guys, I've been a dollar bull. Oh, Turkish lira. Well, when I go back there, things will be cheaper. Ukraine. You know, I had high hopes for Ukraine. Again, things are cheaper for me when I go back there, but it's not looking good. Not looking good, guys. Oh, Jesus. Yemen. South Africa, I just came from there. Oh, it looks horrible. It's only going to get worse. Israeli. Nice 9 right there. So, and I mean, you're pulling back. I don't know what that'll happen here. Look, top's on a 9, bottom's on a 9. I don't know who trades this, but it's neutral. I think it'll stay there for a while. CZK, not looking good. And Hungarian, not looking good at all. Okay, done with FX. Let's go to commodities. I want to walk through commodities. I'll do a walkthrough of everything. I should have more commodities on this list, but it's what I got. Gold futures, we already looked. Oh, no, wait. I'm sorry. This is copper futures. And I'm pretty bullish here. It's copper took a massive hit. It needs a rebound, probably back to about 450, but then copper is probably in trouble. Gold we already looked at, no need. Silver we already looked at as well, no need. Oil we already looked at. Palladium. You know what? I should put platinum over here because I should put platinum like above gold. This way at least they're consistent. Palladium. Well, let's look at platinum. Platinum is not looking great. Actually, I don't know why platinum is there. It should be gold, then silver, then platinum, then copper. We'll put palladium there, then oil. Platinum looks bullish on a rebound. After that, no one's probably going to care. Palladium. Palladium's been interesting. It had that beautiful 999. Had a 9 here on a daily. Palladium can rise here. I like Palladium here, but it needs to play out. Let's hope. Let's see if it gets us to a 9 and then rebounds off the 9. Maybe I should pay more attention to that. I don't know if there's an ETF. I'm sure there is. Oil, I already mentioned. Oil's just weird. I'm staying away from it. I missed my chance to get in. I'm gonna look for other opportunities. Natural gas. Anything good on the weekly here? No, I don't have a natural gas entry. Maybe it'll pull back one more time and line up with a weekly 9 going into the summer. I have no idea what this is. Nickel? I'd have to turn it into a weekly. I had a 9 down here. Looks like a big, I don't know. I can't analyze this. I don't know what this is. Why am I looking at nickel? Coffee? No man's land. Sugar? Oh. Why is this not working? Base study error. What does that mean? Or maybe there's no hourly data. I don't know, but there should be. It's sugar. I'm not sure what's wrong. Oh, back to sugar. I like this. What does it look like on the weekly? Oh, I know why. I can't get the hourly data, so hourly data doesn't exist. That's why. Ooh. If this gets me to a weekly 9, I would be potentially interested. What about a monthly? Nope, not even close. Okay. Wheat. Nah, not interesting at the moment to me. And finally, we have, well, T-bonds. I'd rather look at bonds. Speaking of bonds, let's go to fixed income. This is the 10-year interest rate. Ooh. What about the weekly? Oh, so the weekly is no good. What about the monthly? The monthly and weekly are still bearish, but the daily is calling for a bounce in the interest rate. So I'll throw your chart, Fibo, on in a minute. So what do? I'm going to wait. I'm going to let this 9 play out for a 1 to 4 candle correction. And then I would anticipate more pain for the interest rate. And that means TLT will pull back right here off this 9, right on cue, for 1 to 4 candles, and then challenge the new highs. So I would potentially be a buyer of TLT at 160 off a pullback off the 9. Let's see if that happens. Oh God, I don't know if I have time to go through all the indices and then through all the stocks because it's a lot. One more look, Dow Jones. I love the breakout on DJI. S&P 500, again, I love the breakout. NASDAQ, amazing breakout. And NASDAQ is coming up on its 200-day moving average, which is way closer to it than another indices, which is interesting. Russell is dragging. See, notice how the techs are leading. Dow and the S&P are in the middle, and the Russell is way behind. I don't have the Wilshire. Transportation is behind. VIX is getting crushed. Oh, everything is lining up. Look, the VIX is 3 days away from a 9. And the S&P is daily just getting started. But the VIX is telling you that in 3 days, there could be trouble. And there is support, and there is the setup trend line. So let's watch the VIX around Wednesday, Thursday. UK is dragging behind. BSC, is that India? Is that India? What's BSC? Yes, that is India. Bombay Stock Exchange, that makes sense. Beautiful 9 buying opportunity, but this is not looking good. So I would be a little bit careful. Korea looks great. Well, Korea has solved its coronavirus problem. This is OMX. This is the Norwegian side, I think. It looks decent, not great. China is struggling a little bit here. China is not looking very bullish. Brazil, struggling, not looking very bullish. What about Australia? Is looking good. Well, Australia didn't really suffer the coronavirus. They're a little secluded. Australia is getting out of this quickly. Japan is not looking good at all. The Nifty does not look good. TSX, Toronto looks decent. Tomorrow is a breakout day for Toronto. Germany, same thing. Tomorrow could be a breakout day for Germany. Wait, so this is the Nikkei again. Oh, I'm sorry, Nifty. Why do I think Nifty is Japan? Nifty is India again. I have 2 Nifties. Why do I have 2 Nifties? I probably should get rid of this one. Nifty is India. It's been a long day. Nikkei, Japan. Lagging a little bit. Europe again. Lagging a little bit. And France, lagging a lot. So that's a look at the indices. Not really much. I mean, you got to wait. We got to wait. We just had a big rebound, you know. The time to buy was off the 9s. That was the time to buy. I don't feel like looking through sectors. We're going to the stocks. All right. Let's see some questions. Got a question from Leah. Look at the wheat futures. I did, but I didn't see anything interesting there. Maybe I'll look again later. All right, let's go through the stocks. Amazon, looking great. Looking absolutely great. Bezos is going to try to take over the world if Elon Musk doesn't get to it. Google. Not as good as Amazon, but looks decent. It's too late. It's too late to go long these things. I think it's too late. It's too late, but if it gets to a new high, then it's not too late. It's too late here. I don't want to get into these stocks here because they can turn on you on a dime. I'd rather go long at the all-time high. I don't want to go long here. I'll go long on a pullback if I catch it. If not, I'll wait. Google, same thing. Oh, Netflix. See, Netflix, I don't mind going long. Netflix looks good. But again, if the market turns, they're all going to turn. But Netflix is great. People staying home paying Netflix. Apple. There's not going to be much insight here. Roku, well, they're staying home paying Netflix. Clearly, they're not paying Roku. There's not much to say here. If it's on a green one price flip, it's not that interesting. See, Tesla is struggling a little bit. And that's because people are going to be hesitant in buying a new Tesla because it's a little bit of a luxury. And oil is cheap. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Tesla struggle. But it will be a good pickup for the future. Facebook's not doing too good. I'm just going to go through them. If I see something interesting, I'll say it. Microsoft is looking pretty good, actually. It's above all the moving averages. AMD. Oh, I need AM. No, I'm sorry, not AMD. I need NVIDIA to rally hard. I am. So NVIDIA was one of my hedges. So I had a bunch of puts. I had a lot of puts. I had. Well, I still have. I had the 230 put. And so I puts like here, and then I have puts that are even lower than that. And I'm like, man, if the market tanks on this week, NVIDIA puts are going to make me a shit ton of money. And then look what happens. But I also have 275 calls, which were almost worthless on Friday, but suddenly became pretty damn valuable. So I have calls right here. So these are my calls. And I would love for them to go into the money because that saves the puts. These puts were worth quite a bit right here when everyone thought it was going to tank. But if AMD, if NVIDIA, goes back to the middle, if NVIDIA goes to 250, this entire trade goes to shit. So the trade basically depends on NVIDIA at this point cracking this. And I have less calls than I had puts. So it wasn't evenly balanced. I was heavily skewed to NVIDIA tanking, which turned out to be the complete opposite. And it looks like I'll still end up making money on this trade. At the moment, the total trade is not profitable. But if tomorrow or Wednesday, NVIDIA breaks 75, the trade suddenly becomes profitable. So here's an example of a complete fuck up on a trade that ends up making you money. And that's because I had a hedge. And that hedge turned out to be more profitable than the potential losses of the trade. And unless you have 10 years experience in the market, there's no way you're going to be able to pull these off. I'm sorry, guys. It's just reality. If you're wrong, you're usually wrong and you lose money. It's not often when you can. Also, I got a little lucky based on how much the market moved today. But in the current environment, anything can happen. Ford is not interesting to me with this candle. Like a lot of this stuff is strange now. Look, Tilray is still pulling back. I would actually like to see Tilray pull back some more because I have a bullish trade on Tilray, but it's not it's not like I just got back into trading. I could have made that trade so much better. And I want to get a chance to rectify my bullish trade and make it better at a price of $4 or something. Another one, this one, I went into this marijuana stock properly, cannabis stock properly, unlike Tilray, but it didn't go up as much. So while this is a pretty profitable trade for me, considering I got in almost pretty much at the low, I got in off this 9. It was doing good. All right, come on. I got in off this 9, or I think I got in over here because it was a weekly 9. Still profitable, but I'm patient. It was a monthly 9. That's where I got in. I got in somewhere this month, somewhere here. Can't go much lower. Starbucks. Oh man, when people start getting out of the house again and drinking coffee, this will do well. GE. I'm not sure. I like that 13, but I'm not sure. There's another 13 coming from another 9. TSG. Guys, every stock is in no man's land. I don't want to enter individual names right now. Whatever the hell this was a perfect buy. Whoever bought this off the 9 did insanely well. Even if you sold here, you did amazingly well. Do you think the chance of a retest of lows in the stocks has gone? I think there's a less than 50% chance we will. Okay, that's a good question. Look, if you asked me yesterday, what are the chances that the stock market is going to make a new low? I would have said 60%, 60. Today, by breaking and closing above the 38% moving average, I am lowering that probability from 60% all the way to 20. That is how seriously I'm taking today's action. I've been telling you guys all weekend long, today was going to be the most important trading day of the year. The most important trading week of the year will probably be the 3rd week of April, because that's when coronavirus in the US is supposed to have its peak. And that's when we will know if the market turns back to the downside. But the most important day, single day in the stock market was today. And you can see what happened. And therefore, I am now lowering my probability of a new low in the stock market to 20%. Good question. Let's go back to stocks. Man, Box, what a great trade. I don't even know what the hell Box does. But whatever they do, they're doing it very well. Well, let's take that with a grain of salt here. Whatever they're doing really well for the last 2 weeks. Because clearly they're not doing that well. If this stock breaks the moving average, look, if those of you that took my workshops, you know what I think. You're not going to break this area off of new swing low. We need a higher low. I'm going to watch, well, I'm probably not going to watch it, but I think this thing is going to get rejected in the next 5 days and it's going to go down hard. But you never know. If you took the trade, you did amazingly well. Twitter. No man's land. GoPro. I am long GoPro off the 9. Not making much money, but at least I'm in the green. I'm hoping someone just buys them out. Come on, it's cheap. Buy them out. Buy them out for $10. Take my options. Straight up. Fitbit got bought out. It's irrelevant. ATVI. Ooh. Man, I wish I saw that 913 top, but I didn't. I'm bullish ATVI. I mean, it's one of the few stocks that looks really bullish. But again, if the market turns, it doesn't matter. I would not buy into any stocks today. Not today. Not today. Those that bought a few weeks ago, like I did, I'm still holding some of that, but I wouldn't buy today. I would rather buy the dip. I hate buying stocks and then watching them the next day go down and keep me in the red for months. Square, no man's land. USO is oil. We talked about it already. ExxonMobil. Okay, I no comment. So this is what I bought almost right at the low. I got in this one real good, Apache. I think it's going to close the gap eventually. Let's see what happens. MRO we looked at. It's kind of intriguing, but I don't think I'm going to enter it. Boeing? I don't know. I don't know, guys. No comment on Boeing. No comment on Boeing. Eventually, I'm going to get into this stock. I just don't know when. Maybe tomorrow on a green 2 above a green 1. But I don't have much spare. I'm basically fully allocated for the week already. I go into cash on Fridays with the majority of my portfolio, but I have no disposable cash as of Monday afternoon. I just go into a bunch of stocks on Monday, and I look to profit by Friday. No comment on Chevron. No comment on Lyft. They're all the same. Uber. Fake Zoom. I think fake Zoom is done, right? Fake Zoom is done. I need to stop looking at it. Real Zoom. It was down big time today. Look, I think Zoom has a lot of problems. I'm starting to hate it. I hate the fact that they don't know what security is. I hate the fact that they're spying on you for the US government. I think someone needs to disrupt Zoom, and hopefully their stock would go down and they'll learn a lesson not to spy on their users and to create better security. Pinterest, no comment. Vertex Pharmaceuticals, they're doing well and they should top tomorrow. If you're holding this, if I was holding this, I would be cautious tomorrow. Ferrari, I don't think people are going to be Ferrari soon. Twilio, no comment. Coming off sequential 13, not at the low. Beautiful 9 at the low. God, so many buying opportunities March 16th and 17th and 18th. I was trying to get out of Africa, so I didn't jump in on shit then. I'm paying for it now. I'll wait for Consensio. I'll wait for moving averages to flip. I mean, none of they all look the same. It's like I'm looking at the same chart over and over and over. So there's no comments. How many of these stocks do I freaking have? Oh, God. It's like a never-ending list. I don't even know what this is. No comment. Budweiser. Interesting. Had a weekly 9 a while ago. I don't know. Tough spot in the market right now. Tough spot in the market. I'm bullish into Wednesday, but I think that's where it ends. I mean, I hope the market keeps going up. I want to get out of my calls with a profit. Slack. Chart doesn't look good. Exact Science. Man. Oh, shit. I missed this. God damn it. Totally forgot. Man, I totally forgot about Canaan. It was on my watch list too. I'm debating if it's too late. Because of the market, I think the market's going to top and pull back. Man, it was on my list. Totally forgot. I always forget that Canaan is publicly traded. But I don't know if it has options on it or not. I have to check. I don't even know if it has options. Shit. Too bad. I think Canaan will do well in the future. No comment. No comment. I already commented on Virgin. UAL, one of my worst trades, actually. I don't know. I went in a little bit too early. I mean, I knew the government was going to bail them out, but I went in a little too early. And while my trade was somewhat profitable here, I went to exit. My limit order didn't get hit. And now this trade is no longer profitable. But I have time on my call options. I bought plenty of time because I didn't know when the coronavirus was going to end. So I'm still going to be bullish airlines and cruise lines. Everything's coming back. The question is when. I like the volume on Delta, and I like that reversal candle, and I like that 13. And if the market, I'm already in United Airlines. I don't know if I want to go into Delta. I like that candle. I like the S13. I don't like the fact that it's only on a 5 of 9 and earnings is coming. So I'm going to try and remember to keep an eye on Delta. I got to write this down. CANDAL. I'm in Under Armour at the lows. It hasn't been doing very well, but at least my trade's profitable. Universal Health Services. GameStop. Shit, another one I was supposed to be watching. God damn it. This one had a nice entry this morning at under $3 off a reversal candle. I should have went through these on Friday. I think I'm not, it's too late. See, this is, see, that's a beautiful reversal candle. Yes, it's on a 5, but the way the market was rallying today, the market gapped huge, but you had a chance to get in this stock without a gap. And it closed the gap in the morning, more or less. I almost feel like I missed the right trade. I don't, if this thing, if you got in, you did good. I will look at them tomorrow. Canaan, I need to start writing down. I used to like write down stuff so that it's in front of me on paper. See, because my list is too big. So, because I do it for YouTube, not necessarily for myself. So it does get frustrating. The cruise lines. I'm going to wait. I'm not going to run. I'm not going to chase cruise lines yet. I like that volume spike. I'm still not ready to chase cruise lines. Not ready to chase cruise lines. Carnival. Why is that red line there? Should be here. Oh, hope I didn't miss my chance on cruise lines. Oh, volume. I wanted to get to that 9 on the daily. It's going to be rough. It's going to be rough. Tough call. I don't know what to say. Did I freeze my monitor? Walmart. Whoa, look at that candle today. Oh, Walmart's a roller coaster. I like it. It's bullish. Walmart looks good. Looks good, but I wouldn't chase. I wouldn't chase. I think a lot more people are going to be shopping at Walmart now that they're broke. Any chance of getting Wooly back on a show before the halving? I'm going to try. I'll shoot him a text tonight. Jimmy and I are going to do a show before the halving, the Bcash halving, on Wednesday morning. No, I'll definitely get Willie on before the Bitcoin halving. I still talk to him every now and then. Grupo Modelo. Is that the beer? Really? You want me to analyze this? Really? Come on. Let's be serious, guys. What's your suggestion for newer traders with small accounts, longer time frames, trying to grow their small account, or try to go the prop trading firm route? And I honestly, I don't even know what the hell prop trading is. I'm just my own trader. I mean, I know what prop trading is, but like just buy the index, dollar cost average. Like, guys, trading is not for those with small accounts. That's not what trading's for. Foot Locker and WAL. WAL. I don't know what, this does not look good to me. A stock that falls from $56.33 is no longer interesting to me. Even on a 9. And combo sequential 13. I don't know. If they have cheap $1 puts going out to the year 2040, I might buy some, but like whatever this company used to do, they clearly don't know how to do it anymore. Foot Locker. Bounced off a sequential 13. Big candle today. I'm not going to chase it. Could be famous last words. I don't know. I'm just watching the market, guys. To me, it's not about individual stocks right now. To me, right now, it's all about the S&P. It's all about the S&P. Can the S&P go up here? If it does, then every single company is going to go up. And if it can't, every single company is going to go down. Individual companies don't matter right now. I don't know why I'm even in some of them. Like I'm mostly trading the market. I'm in a lot of those companies for really long dated call options because I think they will recover. All right, hey guys, if you want to support, I'm still like 800 viewers still stuck around. Please check out the affiliate page, and you can support that way. If you're going to sign up for any of these products, please do. We have workshops on demand. I may do these again on Zoom webinars. Options is up for sale if you're interested in trading options. It's not cheap, I know. But if you can't afford it, you should not be trading options. Bali, first week of November, and Understanding Bitcoin, first week of October. I will certainly be traveling by then. All right, guys. Think that's it. Think I'm ready to call it a day. Let's look at Bitcoin price one more time before I go. Looks great. There's your perfected 9 right there. It's coming. We're still rising. We hit the moving average. I think we're going to top tomorrow and then pull back and then break out. So I am bullish, but then we're going to take a bigger correction. All right. Gold pulling back a little bit. That's okay. And the stock market, it's still up there. It's higher than where we closed. So we'll see what happens in the morning. Anything can happen. All right, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget, there is also a shopping store on tonevays.com. There it is. And I will see you all on the next one, guys. Have a good night.